What's up guys, welcome to Vintage Genetics, where it is all about classic bodybuilding, as you guys all know. And we are in this video on our way to the Fit Festival in England, and we actually drove there for 8 hours with our van filled with clothing and my own car filled with clothing and items and products as well. And this right here is a train that actually brings us under the water to the UK itself, and then we drove on to this location right here where the Fit Festival is taking place. So everything you see here we actually brought ourselves in the car. And the Fit Festival, basically, for you guys who don't know, is kind of like a body power type of expo. You can visit stands there, supplements, bodybuilders, strongmen, etc. are there presenting their products and their lines, and I was one of them. I was invited, so of course I went there, and this is actually the camping that was attached to the Fit Festival, so we actually took our caravan as well, and this is the inside of the caravan. And in the morning, of course, I eat my oatmeal with my blueberries, my almonds, and my super whey protein complex by Vintage Genetics. And yeah, this is the inside of the caravan, so we actually just stayed here, slept here, way cheaper than a hotel. And actually I liked it a lot more because I was able to prepare my food as I normally would, as I'm in Olympia prep. And right here we are walking towards the actual expo, and it was pretty funny because outside there was a veggie and vegan stand, which was quite funny because a lot of guys here are strongman. Even guys like Eddie Hall were here, so it was quite funny to see something like that outside. But at the same time, it's quite nice to see as well. So this is the venue area. Everything that's orange right here is the place where a lot of the expo stands and booths are located. It's a lot smaller, of course, than Body Power, but it's a new concept, because a Fit Festival is kind of a combination between, like, this is a CrossFit event, it was a powerlifting event, a strongman event, but also some artists who performed live for the audience, and some festival and after parties outside and stuff. So that was kind of the combination they went for. But as you can see, it isn't that busy, so it had a lot of potential, but in the end it didn't really pay off. But as you will see later on in this video, our stand, our booth, did pretty well. And here I'm kind of showing you what we have available at our stand, because for you guys there's a lot of new clothing available, because we purchased a big order of all the stringers are back in stock. We've got big old school t-shirts, weightlifting belts are back in stock, a lot of leg day, chest day, arm day shirts, and these are, for example, new shirts as well, all available on vintagegenetics.com, and they sold quite well at this Fit Festival Expo. And we've got everything, the camo t-shirts, the mesh active t-shirts, all Vintage Genetics with golden logos. We've got the bamboo t-shirts, we've got the standard Vintage Genetics t-shirts, and a lot more to offer. And it was a lot of fun to actually be here and present so many different items, because right now everything's going really well thanks to you guys' support. And a lot of people drove for hours to the Fit Festival, sometimes to only meet me and, for example, get a purchase of a Stay Golden yellow stringer and get it signed by me, which is just very humbling when something like that happens. It just means a lot to me that you guys support me so much that when I meet you in person, it just feels surreal to know that a lot of people have, just watched me and support me on the Vintage Genetics. And of course I also gave a seminar on this Fit Festival about my life as a classic bodybuilder and answering questions as well. You always feel sluggish because you need it now. But all in all, if you look relative to the people who came to the entire Fit Festival, quite a lot of people did come to our booth, and quite a lot of people recognized me. I have to say, the United Kingdom is an amazing place for bodybuilding, because there's a lot of genuine bodybuilding fans who are really passionate about the sport, who want to talk about the sport, about the nutrition side of it, about the bodybuilding, the exercise side of it. It's just amazing to hear how passionate everyone is. And of course, last time at Body Power we didn't have this much space, but this time we actually made a challenge for people holding these SBC tubs as long as possible, and actually a lot of people tried it. It was very fun to do, and the winner was actually allowed to pick one item from the store. No matter what they picked, they were allowed to have it. And this guy was actually pretty good. He had a very good time. And the thing is, it's not the shoulders that hurt you, it's the wrists in the end, because you gotta hold the tub in such a weird way. And by the way, this girl won the female version of this contest, and she's actually a powerlifter, and this guy won the male version. And as you can see, he chose a stay golden old school sleeveless shirt, which was awesome to see. And Eddie Hall was there as well. Of course, the strongest man on the planet, which was pretty funny because at the FIBO he spotted me during my bench press in 2012. Here I'm doing some talking for the Fit Festival people themselves. And of course, even people from booths wanted to take pictures, and it's just very humbling when you come somewhere where you don't know anybody, but they do want to take pictures and talk to you and be interested in you. But anyway, we also had to work out during these 2 days. So we went to a very interesting gym called Progress Gym. It has a lot of different equipment, a lot of cool, amazing equipment actually, just like this lat pull down with unilateral handles. It allows to pull down deeper, which is something that I need to do because I need to work on my back detail and back thickness. And when you actually can pull deeper, you can actually pull deeper into the traps, contract the muscle fibers harder, pump more blood into the middle back, and that is very fortunate for muscle growth in that area. And as you can see, the gym is pretty awesome, not only in the equipment side, but also in the atmosphere, because there's a lot of quotes like right there to motivate people to keep going. And later on you will also see Arnold on the wall, but a lot of quotes just showing what the gym is all about. So you can work out as hard as you can. It's even, celebrated to work out as hard as you can, to really do your best, to make the best out of your own physique. And just a machine like this is very unique. Also, 2 different cables attached to 2 stacks of weights, which I never saw before. And this is a very adjustable machine, and after this we will actually be doing a different exercise with the same machine, because you can adjust it in a lot of different ways. But this is a seated row, and I'm doing a lot of rows, of course, because I want to work on the back thickness. And what I'm doing right here is really arching my back at the squeeze, at the contraction, and really make sure to pull my elbows close to my side and really contract that lower and middle back as hard as I can to work on that thickness. And if you look closely, you can now see that the handle of the machine is a lot higher, because you can actually adjust it from low to high, which is very awesome, turning it into kind of like a V-bar pull down, kind of like a pull down combined with a row. And this targets not only the lower back but also the middle back a lot more. And again, as I always say, bodybuilding is all about hitting the muscle group that you want to train from as many different angles as possible. So first we did a seated row just in front of us, just a low seated row, and now we're basically doing a high seated row, really taking apart the entire back, destroying every single muscle fiber, only to be resurrected later on with proper nutrition. But as you can see, always use full range of motion. The deeper the stretch, the higher the maximum stretch will cause the maximum contraction, especially with the back. The more you stretch, the wider and more complete it will eventually become. And then it's time for another exercise. Not a lot of gyms have this machine. It's a cool hammer strength type of machine. It's actually literally hammer strength, and a brand like this really shows when you actually use it. It's different than different brands and other brands, because the squeeze here is amazing. You can't really see it, but the lower back, when I arch it and when I pull my elbows next to my sides, the squeeze is unexplainably good. You can actually squeeze a lot further than you're normally used to, so you're actually targeting muscle fibers that you're normally not targeting, at least not in that way. So doing exercises like that, if you are able to do them, definitely do them, but don't go too heavy. If you go too heavy, you cannot squeeze as much. And then, because there was a pullover machine, but I actually didn't fit in it. My back was a little too wide for it, so we had to choose the dumbbell pullover instead, the classic way. Some people say when I just lay on the bench normally that it's not the classic way, and that's right, of course. You should lay across the bench like this for an even deeper stretch, but at the same time you're not balanced in this way. You gotta, if you go too heavy, you actually fall backwards, and you gotta focus on that. But looking at Arnold like this, you have no choice but to do it the classic way. And then this exercise is very unique. It's, normally I do a rear delt pec deck exercise or a rear delt dumbbell fly or reverse fly, but this is an exercise that I've never seen before. It's a plate loaded rear delt fly machine, and it feels very different. I actually use the rear delts and the traps at the same time, because the rear delts are pretty developed, but the traps can always be bigger, so I definitely use those during this exercise. Full range of motion, of course. And then there were also TV screens showing the 2006 Mr. Olympia preparation. That was Ronnie Coleman right there. Actually, I look up to Ronnie Coleman. I watch all of his videos. Just very motivating to see him work out. But what we are doing right here is vertical preacher curls. And it's vertical because then when you go at the very top, you have no choice but to contract the bicep to the max. There's nothing keeping the tension away. So stretch all the way down and then go all the way up, contracting the bicep as hard as possible. It is also a close grip, meaning that I'm targeting the outer head of the bicep, and when the outer head grows larger than the inner head, you will get a bigger and better peak. So for people who want a bicep peak, I definitely recommend doing the close grip preacher curl. And then I did a very interesting exercise again. Normally I do a rope hammer curl, but this handle right there is very unique. I just wanted to try it out. It's kind of the same, a hammer curl device, but it actually turns with your wrists as you curl it up, so it felt really nice. And I did it with a superset with triceps, because I want to work on the triceps a little more than the biceps. The biceps are actually a stronger point compared to the triceps, and so I want to work on the triceps a little more to be as proportionate as possible. And doing supersets with arms is actually very beneficial, because when the biceps are contracted, the tricep is stretched, and vice versa. Alright guys, it's Monday now. We had a good weekend at the Fit Festival right here, and as you can see, this is the camping site with our caravan. Just breaking down the tent right now, where we actually slept for a few days during this weekend, and we couldn't get a hotel because, as you can see, we need to be able to prepare the food the exact way it needs to be prepared, because I'm in the Mr. Olympia preparation. And here we've got our proteins. We actually went to the Tesco supermarket, and we've got some rice that's already pre-cooked. Only need to put it in the skullbraai, this is called. I'm not sure what the English name of it is, but it's gas powered. It heats up your food and it doesn't stick at all. Then you just put some cooked prawns in there, you put your fish in there and some vegetables, your rice, and you're pretty much done. Putting some herbs through it, and this will be for 4 meals, the vegetables, and then we're gonna add some rice and the fish, and then we'll have 4 meals for during the 7 to 8 hour car trip to the Netherlands. But it was certainly great seeing you guys here in England. Always like, the culture here surrounding bodybuilding is very different than in the Netherlands. And people are much more genuine here when it comes to the bodybuilding culture and the bodybuilding scene. And everyone who did come to our booth, really want to thank you guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate you talking to me, taking pictures, and of course supporting the Vintage Genetics brand. And yeah, we're about to head home in a few hours, just making these meals, and then we'll see you back home. Alright guys, that was the video, and do keep in mind this was about 2 weeks ago, so my shape has dramatically improved for the Olympia. But I wanted to show you the website where we actually now sell all the new clothing items that we were presenting at the Fit Festival. I recently added them to the inventory on the website, and a lot of clothing that you guys wanted back in stock are back in stock right now, such as the stringers, such as basically all the popular items on the web shop. And this shirt I personally like a lot the big t-shirt, throwing it back to old school bodybuilding. So it's very nice to work out legs in, for example, not being distracted by the upper body, just focusing on the legs. And we got several new t-shirts, etc. But guys, and also these arm and chest and leg day did really well at the Fit Festival. But yeah guys, this was the video, and do not forget to stay golden.